Hi guys, and welcome back to CARKO, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Bluespark tuning box. So if you guys watched my previous video where I went on a little trip to Wales, I told you guys at the end of the video that I'd put a Bluespark tuning box on the car. So I'm going to be giving you my views and opinions on whether I think it's worth it on a Trofeo specifically, or any 160 bhp Abarth running the IHI turbo. But before we get into that, I just want to thank everyone lately that's been giving me support and subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot to me that you guys are enjoying my videos that much to subscribe and even place a comment or even like the video. It really means so much to me, and it just gives me that little bit more confidence to get out and use my time to make videos for you guys to enjoy and for me to share my experiences with you guys. So let's get on to the video. Right guys, so I've had the Bluespark on my car now for probably about 2 or 3 weeks, and I wanted to give myself a chance to really get to know the different settings on the car and get to know the box as well before I give my views and opinions on whether I think it's a worthy purchase or not. This may not be the most exciting video that I've made, because obviously we're going to be just talking about this box and what it's good at and what it's not good at and if it's worth it. But at the same time, I hope it's going to be informative for you guys, especially ones that own a Trofeo or like a 160 comp running the IHI turbo. So the trip to Wales, it was driven quite hard. I gave it a few launches, and I was quite impressed actually with the acceleration and the 0 to 60 that it gave me compared to without the box. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video. I also will be getting it put on the dyno in the coming weeks, because I actually want to see figures. There's no point in saying, oh, it's giving me this amount of horsepower and this amount of torque without proof. I like proof, so I'm gonna get it disconnected, get it on the dyno, and then have a dyno before and a dyno after, so we can actually see what it's doing. But I can definitely feel the difference since having this box put on the car, and it's quite noticeable. Right, so let's talk figures. So figures claimed by Bluespark themselves, they say you'll gain around 12 PS, which is around 10 brake horsepower. So 172 PS, which is 170, and 300 newton meters of torque. And that torque figure is really what sold me on this box. And then I looked further into the box to see what that 10 brake horsepower, where is it? Like, how are we gonna fill this 10 brake horsepower? And you really notice a difference between, obviously, when we come on boost. So let's say between 3,500, well, let's just say between 3,000 and 4,000 RPM. That's where you really feel the difference, and that's because on a stock tune at 4,000 RPM, you'll be at 140 horsepower. With the Bluespark box on at 4,000 RPM, you'll hit 165 horsepower. So in that rev range, I know it's only 10 brake horsepower on paper, but if you look at all the graphs, I'll try and insert one somewhere on the screen now. If you look at the graphs that they provide from dynoed cars running this box, it's actually 165 horsepower in that part of the rev range. Now 25 horsepower is obviously going to be massively noticeable, and that's really what has made my mind up on whether this box is worth it or not. So if we look at stock figures, we'll say around 230 newton meters of torque. They claim 300, so that's a whole 70 newton meters, which is going to be massively noticeable. And to be honest, I can notice a massive difference in torque. That's the most surprising thing. I'd say torque to me is a better feeling than horsepower, if you know what I mean. Like, torque is obviously the feel of you getting sucked in and you actually feel the power of the car, and that's what you get that I think this was missing out of the factory. I know 230 Newton meters is still a lot in today's, well, in a car this small, but then to get 300 or close to 300, it feels absolutely awesome. So I did a few launches in Wales from standstill with traction control off, and the best 0 to 30 I got was 2.1 seconds, and 0 to 60 was 7 seconds. So it's knocked off obviously nearly half a second to the claimed figures, and that was on setting C. And I've just literally the other day flicked it onto setting D, and what a difference it is. Obviously you've got A, B, C, D and E on the box, and then E is 100% tune, D is probably like 80%, and C is a balance, a mixture of obviously performance, economy, etc. And getting onto economy as well, I averaged around 38 mpg on the trip to Wales, and I only filled up twice over about 400 miles. So that's quite impressive. So I think it's definitely made a difference to my mpg as well. But in setting D, you get bangs from the exhaust like through every gear. The torque feels so much more instant. And then when it gets between 3,000 and 4,000 RPM, all hell breaks loose. So we're going to take it for a drive now, and I'm going to kind of sum up and give you my overall opinion on whether I think this tuning box is worth it. This is in setting D, so this is the setting before the most brutal setting, which I think you need to have a few little modifications for, which I don't have yet, so I'm not going to bother putting it in E as of yet. But straight away, wow, there you go. When it hits 4,000 RPM, Jesus Christ, it goes mental. It goes absolutely mental. It's one of those things where you've got I think if you had a Trofeo or a 160 Abarth, and then you drove it with the box on one of the highest settings, your mind will be made up instantly. This box, what it does when you come onto boost is just worth it. It's just so worth it, because alright, it's not as well rounded as a remap, but the main reason why I've put the tuning box on here is because I don't want to void any warranties, and I don't know how long I'm going to be keeping this car for. The goal is to get a Biposto this summer, or an Alfa Romeo 4C. So hopefully this year on the channel we're going to either see a Biposto or a 4C. So I didn't want to map it or do anything crazy yet, because I don't know how long I'm going to be keeping this specific Abarth for. I'm definitely staying with Abarths or Alfa Romeo, which is going to be next. It's definitely going to be Italian. What this box does is it just puts a smile on your face. It's a very cheap way to get horsepower, to get more torque, and just waiting and watching that rev go up to 3,500, 4,000, and then all hell just breaks loose on the car. It's so worth it. And obviously we get the discount being part of the Abarth Owners Club. It's just, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. If you don't want to void your warranty and you don't want to mess with the ECUs or anything like that, and you just want plug and play horsepower, it's brilliant. It's worth it for that. Right guys, so final thoughts on the Bluespark tuning box for my Abarth 595 Trofeo. I think value for money, definitely. Smiles per gallon, definitely. Makes a difference on it, acceleration, so it's definitely a must again. If you don't want to map the car and you don't want to mess around with warranties, anything like that, obviously again, and it's just a good starting point. If you want to get a little bit of extra power, I'm going to get the Aura intake next. That's going to be going on. Probably wire open the valve on the Monza as well. But yeah, for things like this alone, drop it down into second gear, and it's just crazy. That was like it's transformed the car completely. I'll be jumping up onto setting E as well, because I'd like to see what the difference with that is, but I've definitely noticed a difference between C and D massively. It's just a lot more instant. So for 135 quid, 28-day money back guarantee, it's definitely worth it, guys. I hope it's been a little bit informative for you guys. The weather's lovely today. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Hope you guys have had a great weekend too, and have a good week ahead of you, and I'll see you in the next video.